Sierra Club. I want to start off with, first of all, that nuclear energy is not clean energy. From the very beginning of mining uranium, processing, turning it into yellow cake, et cetera, all the way down the line to decommissioning, which is going to be the big business, and forever waste. And besides that, we cannot say zero emissions. That is not true. Every nuclear power plant that's running on a routine basis releases radioactivity into our environment through gases and liquid effluents and all kinds of filters and everything else that has to be taken away to a lower level radioactive dump. So it's a falsehood to say it's clean energy, and I would agree with Senator Craig Deeds that mentioned at the legislative session that nuclear energy simply is not renewable, and that is one of the reasons why that bill failed to try to reclassify nuclear energy as renewable, because it simply isn't. As it goes for the other bill that failed, trying to make us a test pilot project for untested, unknown cost, et cetera, for small modulars, that bill failed too, because it's very much, they were very much aware of the unknown cost factors, unknown a lot of things, and putting us on the dole for ratepayers taking the risk and the cost. We've already seen multiple reactor, and Dominion, I think, was even party of that. I guess it was the South Carolina one, with the basic, I forgot how many millions or billions were spent to fill up a hole, you know, of a plant project that failed. North Anna 3, some years back, was another project that we got stuck with like $600 million for shifting papers around. So, you know, the citizens and ratepayers are always, you know, have to be on the lookout for being on the hook for something that just doesn't work out because it's too expensive, too complicated. We don't have the workforce. I mean, I've gotten on meetings before at the NRC and I can barely understand people because they're all from India. I'm a little concerned. I'm not racist. But that's a problem. And it's also a problem that we don't have the infrastructure for even parts that we need now. And we've got aging plants all over the country, including here in Virginia, and we don't even have the samples around the reactor core itself to see, you know, for embrittlement. You know, I'm just a weirdo because I watch and read documents and attend meetings. We've got a lot of issues. Y'all always talk about new. But we got a lot of stuff going on with our old. In particular, right now, we have Indian Point and we have Pilgrim. Holtec, I think, has both of them, and wants to dump the water, the radioactive waters and stuff, you know, into the river, and they're getting pushback. This is kind of stuff that's going to happen all over the country because they got to get rid of stuff. We already see what's happened 12 years later in Fukushima after that disaster. You know, they're talking about taking some kind of pipes and putting it out in the ocean and releasing it for 30 or 40 years. You know, radioactivity is bioaccumulative. You know, I mean, we don't know what we're doing with that. I mean, that's on some scale that humans don't even know. So that's a big problem. And as it goes for, again, checking the NRC, you know, we've got a combined assessment meeting for North Anna and Surrey, which they used to do them separately because of COVID and whatever. They're doing it online now. But still, the public goes online and you can't see the 2022 report for the year. You can't see, you know, do we have leaks going on or anything? Nope, sorry, we're gonna have the meeting, and they've been doing this for years. They're gonna have the public assessment meeting, but the public has no privy to any information about what's going on with those two plants for the whole year. And that's gotta stop. That's just wrong. It's just wrong. And the other thing I was going to mention is, you know, I don't know what's going on with Dominion Power. I know they keep changing things, but the wastewater treatment system plant, you know, they seem to be, you know, testing it. Before they used to have to test the effluent, the water coming out of the you know, to the cooling ponds. They used to have to test the temperature throughout the day. Now they just do it one time a day. They do it early morning. And for the past 3 days, they just decided to keep going earlier. I'm not sure why there isn't like some standardized stuff where they do things at a certain time. It should be important if they want to get accurate information. But, you know, the whole idea of it releasing at 14 degrees has been defunct for many years. We get up into the 20s. I've even seen it probably get up closer to 30 degrees difference. It's a problem. So, you know, more information to the public so that we can actually have assessments. But this idea of new and what we're going to do, and, you know, I don't think Virginia, obviously legislative session proved right there, like, wait a minute, what are y'all doing? It's not renewable. We're not going to get our ratepayers stuck again for something that's unproven. And you know what? There's still no true plan for nuclear waste. Don't have one. You know, you got the state, you know, arguing about it, you know, between New Mexico and Texas. I mean, so we've got a lot of stuff we need to look at right now that's on the plate. And also the new licensure for even North Anna, that's postponed for another 4 months. NRC doesn't even have the staffing. You know, so we don't have the staffing, we don't have the employees needed, you know, we don't make the parks, you know, I mean, I just think that y'all are continuing just like the NRC, putting the cart before the horse. You know, I want to be protected. I live here in Virginia, and downtown, both plants encompass the downtown region in the 50-mile evacuation zone. You know, it just seems like there's a lot of, you know, lackadaisy, like, oh, nothing's going to happen thing. But what, you know, and then half the time we don't even hear about it until later. You know, the Minnesota power plant leaked 400,000 gallons of radioactive water. The public wasn't even alerted or anything until later. And they, last time I heard, that was March 20th, that they, I think they've already gotten like 25% of the water, you know, back. There's a lot of problems going on, and when you deal with nuclear, it's dangerous, it's toxic, it's expensive, and I think y'all really need to look at what we got going on right here. And these containers that we're putting waste in, that they're only scheduled to maybe last 100 years. So, you know, even at North Anna, when they go to check, they lift up one canister and they look under there like one time with a GoPro camera to see for cracks. One out of all the rest of them that are out there on the lot. You know, I don't think that we should be banking on luck, because we could really screw up our state. So I hope that y'all do get the education and people are willing to somehow, you know, watch over these plants as they age, and especially get into the decommissioning and waste, because I don't think we have a knowledge yet on all. If you take one spent fuel pool that's been re-racked, more than it was designed originally to contain, they're full, and they're full with all kinds of different levels of burnout. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where the science is really coming in here. And North Anna, I haven't heard about Dominion's plan yet. Where are we with that? Have they opened up the canister? I don't think yet. We don't even know how the fuel's going to do. I would like to see this Nuclear Energy Consortium Authority people in, you know, this room and alongside with the NRC, you know, really address what we have right now and stop being like putting all this other stuff ahead of things. Because what's going to happen, it's just a matter of time. There's going to be an accident, and it's going to be somewhere in our country. And it's not going to be pretty. And it's all because y'all are focusing on the future instead of looking at what we have right under our nose right now. And that's what I'd like y'all to do. Thank you.